who themselves have done it. I had no contribution of even asking them. So yeah, thank you so very much to all our participants once again for tuning in and with your on videos to interact. We'll, I guess, start with the session.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धोभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरं परमानन्दमाधवम्। Hare Krishna. Once again, welcome everybody to this wonderful session of Gita, the Art of Inner Peace. And we have very successfully discussed a few of the important shlokas from the first 4 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. And now we are proceeding ahead to the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. One of the very challenging chapters to teach is this 5th chapter. All right, we'll directly go to the topic. This is 5th chapter, 22nd shloka. Let's read. Ehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkhayo naya evate adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. The translation is as follows. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. Hari Hari. I was just giving an example in my previous class in the Bhagavad Gita Rasamalayam, which just happened. It happens every day from 7:25 to 7:50 technically, lekin 8 baji jate hain. So there I was given an example. I was on the way back to my ashram. As I was coming from the BYC temple hall to ashram, I thought of a better example. और भी अच्छा एक बढ़िया example मिला मेरे को. I would like to share it with you. Suppose I were to show you a sweet. Sweet सुनते ही सबका जो है चेहरे खिल गए. Wow, sweet. I'm going to give it to you. Don't worry. So there's a sweet, a very, very मतलब कितना टेस्टी होगा स्वीट. ध्रुवन प्रभु's already started salivating. At least his smile he has. He's a very expressive person. The sweet is looking, it's mouth watering. It's looking so amazing. Prabhu ji kab denge aisa sweet? That is something that is visible, sweet. And I'm telling you, it is very, very sweet. बहुत sweet है और बहुत बढ़िया. It's बहुत tasty है, स्वादिष्ट है. But there is a problem. What is the problem? जैसे ही आप स्वीट मुंह के अंदर डालते हैं, you chew it, the rasa comes out, you can experience the pleasure, but after you gulp down the sweet, within that time, that particular span of time, you will die. मर जाओगे क्योंकि उस स्वीट में जहर मिला हुआ है. How many of you will eat such a sweet? Is there anybody? Come on, so sweet. इतना बढ़िया है, इतना अच्छा है. It's so delicious. Even the very look is mouth watering. इतना mouth watering sweet है, melt हो जाएगा. लेकिन आप खाते मर जाएंगे. How many of you would like to take it? Is there anybody who would like to try? Hey, खाओगे? पापा से पहले पूछो. Ask permission. नहीं, अभी नहीं बोल रहा है. He changed party. Yes, nobody in this world would be such a fool to taste such a sweet. He was joking with me. It's not possible. That is what Bhagwan is telling here. एहि संस्पर्शजा भोगा दुःख योनय एवते. In this world, the people who are frustrated, dukkha, those who are experiencing dukkha, they are all experiencing dukkha because they have tried to enjoy. They have tried to do bhoga. That means they have tried to eat that sweet. Of course, the sweet in this material world doesn't kill you, but it produces pain. So either likta, so the material world is like that. It looks very alluring, looks very tempting, but as soon as you take it and accept it, you get misery. Ehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkhayo nevate. I very often give this example, and I would like to give it again because it's very relevant to the context that we are referring to. This world is like a shopping mall. You enter this shopping mall, the shopping mall has different products. Yes. And normally everybody in this world wishes to purchase the product of bhoga, happiness, ananda. This is the product that people want to purchase. So he goes to along with his cart, his shopping cart, he goes to the mall and starts picking one by one object. Okay, idhar milega happiness. This is bliss. This is ananda. This is sukha. This is bhoga. So he starts picking. And after he fills his shopping cart, he's taking an exit. And as he's going in the exit, there is that metal detector. So that he's there, that place is made to stop. Stop. Sir, aap aise nahi ja sakte. You cannot get away like this. You said, what should I do? You have to make payment. Card chalega? Haan, kuch bhi chalega. You have to pay and you have to leave. So the person has to pay for every single product that he has taken in this mall. And then he goes home. And what is the hope that is there in the heart? Usko kya lagta hai? What does he feel? What does he think that is going to be there in the product? He thinks, wow, this product, this is going to give me pleasure. This is going to give me anand because it's written anand. And every product is packaged so nicely. There is a golden wrapper. Yes, gold. Some are having the reddish kind of wrapper. There's a gifts milte hain. How many of you got gifts on birthday? Gift. Yes, we all get gifts on birthdays. तो कैसे वो wrap करके आते हैं? It comes in such a wonderful wrapping and shapes and sizes. By seeing this size, we try to guess क्या होगा इसमें. We start guessing. So that is how Maya presents to all of us those presents. And then what happens? He says, all right, I'm going to open it. And कभी-कभी ribbon भी लगा होता है ना? Ribbon to make it more attractive. खोलिए इसको. So a person opens the ribbon very nicely, very sweetly, and opens the package and is very eager to see what is there. And as soon as he opens it, उसको एक मुक्का पड़ता है. Oh, he got a punch. He starts bleeding. He said, maybe this was defective mal. ये जाली माल था. I will look for something else. So he takes another product. खुशी लिखी है इसमें, खुशी. तो मुझे खुशी मिलेगी. So he opens it nicely. Again, oh, he gets one more beating. नहीं, ये दोनों डिफेक्टिव हो सकता है. एक और ट्राई करते हैं. Hare Krishna. What was the last thing that I spoke? Anyone?
मुक्का पड़ता है सेकंड में, फिर थर्ड में.
दूसरा, फिर थर्ड में क्या होता है? ध्रुवीन पर आप ही बता दो.
Just like that, once again एक मुक्का और आएगा.
Yes, एक मुक्का और आएगा और वही होता है. That is what happens. पुनः पुनश्चर्वित चर्वनानाम. Despite chewing the same chewed, still we don't learn. हम तब भी नहीं सीखते हैं. कि material world, Maya means that which is not. So these are all Maya's products. And the Maya's products are fake products which only the बाहर का जो होता है वो कवरिंग पैकेजिंग मस्त रहता है, एडवर्टीजमेंट मस्त रहता है, और अंदर का माल एकदम खराब रहता है. How many of you have experience of purchasing such a thing? Yes. We all have. हम सब लोग जो है, we all been cheated before. We all have experience of getting cheated like this. And normally when you do that, you can call up, hey, what is this? I'm calling customer care. You people, you have cheated me. You have given this product. And this is, oh, sorry, sir. हम लोग तुरंत replacement कर देंगे. This is what people will do in this world. But you try to call up Maya. Yes. ओए, ऐसा कैसे माल दे दिया? फिर फोन से एक और मुक्का आएगा. वही होगा उसके साथ. फोन से भी मुक्का आएगा. He will be beaten even on phone. Sorry, फोन करना भी बेकार रहा. So that's what happens. The person is whipped and pounded at every point of time. Pounding. पिटाई. So ehi samsparshaja, you try to touch an object either through any of your senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, kisi se bhi, you're touching it for bhoga. Dukkha yone evate. So the most frustrated person is that person who has tried to enjoy the most in this world. Yes. जितना आप enjoyment के लिए try करेंगे उतना ही frustration आएगा. So that is why Sri Prahlad Maharaj, a small 5-year-old boy, you should definitely read his prayers. He looks like a small 5-year-old boy in that particular section, but his wisdom is very deep because he was trained by Narad Muni while he was in the womb of his mother Kayadu. He heard and he realized. He heard and he got conviction. He was convinced and he practiced. Yes. So he says that the only way to be happy in this world, सबकी कान खुल गए. Yes, प्रभु जी, प्लीज टेल, जल्दी बताइए, हम कब से ट्राई कर रहे हैं, मिला नहीं अब तक. The only way to be happy in this world is by not aspiring for happiness. Yes. प्रभु जी क्या, प्रभु जी एंटी क्लाइमैक्स कर दिया. It's fact. This is what Bhagavatam says. How many of you ask for miseries? काश मुझे ओमिक्रॉन हो जाए, काश मुझे डेल्टा वेरिएंट हो जाए, कोविड हो जाए, प्लीज. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू प्रेड लाइक दैट? देखो, लुक एट रितिशा, शी हर एक्सप्रेशन, प्रभु जी नहीं, too fast, no, small girl, she's saying no प्रभु जी, we don't pray like that. How many of you pray for migraine हो जाए मेरे को, migraine, headache, migraine, throat problem, chest pain, back pain, सब सारे प्रॉब्लम बॉडी को हो जाए? How many of us pray like that? We never pray. We never pray for miseries. We never even desire miseries. But still, how many of us get miseries? Correct. हमने भले ही pray नहीं किया, still we got miseries because it was a part of karma. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj says, just as you don't ask for miseries but get miseries, similarly, although you don't ask for pleasures, you will also get pleasure. Even if it is there, if it's there in your karma, you will get it. So you don't have to unnecessarily slog for getting happiness in this world. You have to do your prescribed duties towards God and towards the varnashram dharma that you're following. Your occupation duty, your familial duties, and your prescribed duties towards God. Yes, just keep doing that. हमें करते रहना है. We have to keep doing that. And whatever pleasure is in our quota, that will come. That will come to you automatically. जिस प्रकार से miseries come automatically. Because it's actually not automatic, it's very systematic. भगवान ने एक कर्म का बहुत सुंदर सिस्टम बनाया है. He's made a first class fantastic system of transferring karma, just like we have transferring money. Sometimes people say, first time I heard something called Google Pay. I was saying, बेवकूफ बना रहे क्या? What is this? ऐसा क्या? फोन पे, गूगल पे, बेवकूफ पे, ऐसे थोड़ी होता है. You have to give, no, आ जाएगा, आपका अकाउंट नंबर दे दीजिए, आपके जो है अकाउंट में ट्रांसफर हो जाएगा. And we say, ओए, actually transfer हो गया. We actually got it in our account. Yes. So just as there is phone pay, Google Pay, net banking, all these ways of beautifully transferring money, similarly, Krishna has a very wonderful system, and that system पे बहुत सुंदर से जो है कर्मा ट्रांसफर होके आ जाता है आपके अकाउंट में. You don't have to worry. So the sukha and dukkha that we have every single day, the quantum of that is fixed. It is fixed. So one of my boys, my students, when he heard this, कि हमारा जो है pleasure fix रहता है, तो he said, I will do an experiment. I'll do an experiment. The entire day he had a long face. Long face यानी कि एकदम नाराज, वेरी मिजरेबल, एकदम सीरियस सा फेस बनाया, he tried to be very serious, देखता हूं कैसे प्लेजर आएगा, कुछ हंसी आती थी भी रोक देता, नहीं नहीं नहीं, टुडे आई विल नॉट हैव हैप्पीनेस टुडे, नो 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 नो, आज मिजरी, ऐसा करके ट्राई टू बी वेरी मिजरेबल। और लास्ट में ऐसा जोक सुना, ऐसा जोक सुना, वो पेट दबा करके पेट दर्द होने लग गया, इतना हंसने लग गया, he started rolling on the ground and laughing. So he said, then he came and told, प्रभु जी 10 प्रूव्ड प्रभु जी। मैंने बोला क्या प्रूव्ड प्रभु? बोला जो प्रभु जी आपने वो लेक्चर में बताया था ना, 10 प्रूव्ड प्रभु जी। अरे क्या लेक्चर में बताया था? कि दिन का कोटा फिक्स होता है प्रभु जी। किस चीज का? सुख और दुख का प्रभु जी। आई सेड गुड। कैसे पता लगा? इसे प्रभु जी एक्सपेरिमेंट से। अरे मैंने बोला व्हाई डिड यू हैव टू डू एक्सपेरिमेंट? बिलीव द शास्त्रस ना। तो इस तरीके से थिंग्स वर्क। सो क्वांटम ऑफ पेन एंड प्लेजर एवरी सिंगल डे इज फिक्स्ड, पूरा दिन का फिक्स रहता है। सो दैट इज व्हाई वी डोंट हैव टू endeavor for happiness. Happiness will come. You have to endeavor for getting Krishna. That's the right prayas that we have to do. Tat prayaso na kartavyo. Do not unnecessarily endeavor for excessive happiness. You're going to get whatever is there. And another reason that why we do not feel happy with material products is because adi antavanta kaunteya. Every pleasure has a beginning, adi, and it has an end, anta. We all like beginnings. Beginning bahut acha hai, but what is it that we don't like? The end. And believe it or not, rather you've all experienced it, every pleasure has the end. It is there. Whether it is tasting of gulab jamun, which is a physical pleasure, the end. Or if it's a mental pleasure, somebody is listening to some music. Music kya hota hai? Even after that, sometime we still get the thoughts. Music, I have a movie, somebody watches a movie, oh, still there is a kick that is there. But even that has the end. Intellectual pursuits, you crack, software engineer ने बहुत बड़ा एक app बनाया है. We have made a wonderful app. Or some educationist has cracked a very wonderful problem statement. तो उनको एक जो intellectual kick मिलता है, they get an intellectual kick. Even this has the end. The end may be after a few months, but it is there. So every single pleasure ends, and that end is a problem. But the soul wants unending happiness. ऐसा happiness चाहिए जो कभी खत्म नहीं होता है. And that is why every fairy tale ends with what? And they happily lived ever after. First of all, they cannot live happily in this world. Number two, nobody lives forever. Yes, but the soul wants that kind of experience, and that kind of experience can only be begotten when one practices Krishna consciousness and goes back home, back to God in the spiritual world. Yes, that is why. That is why what is there? Nateshu ramate buddha. An intelligent person will never ever take part in such a pleasure. This is Thakur Haridas. And this is a prostitute. Some other day we'll discuss in detail. This is a prostitute going to propose to him. He doesn't take part in the misery. No. So this prostitute is compared to the mind, who is feeding that sweet. अरे sweet खा लो, लेकिन sweet में जहर मिला हुआ है. कोई नहीं खाएगा ना. So he is able to see the problem. That sweet अच्छा है, tasty है, लेकिन उसमें जहर है. So that's not something to be eaten. So the meaning of Rama is to enjoy. Rama means to enjoy. Nateshu ramate buddha. But the real enjoyment, Rama, a person can get when you serve Rama, the supreme enjoyer. And that's what Prahlad is doing to all his demoniac classmates. They're no longer demons. They all become devotees. Yes. And there's a very strong teaching of Rishabdev. Naham deho deha bhajan. He's Bharat, upon whose name this tract of land is called Bharatvarsha. He's Bharat Maharaj, the successor of Rishabdev. So he's teaching. Naham deho deho bhajan loke kashtan kamani harate vidibujami. Tapo divyam putrakaina sattvam shuddheti asmat brahma saukyam tanantam. So what he teaches, he tells that yes, you may sacrifice a material pleasure, but if you adopt Krishna consciousness, your spiritual pleasure that you get will be millions and billions of times, uncomparably much more than the material pleasure. That's what. So material pleasure is there little bit, thoda sa, like a drop. It's like a drop on a desert. It's like a drop of water in a desert. What is the value of drop of water in a desert? What will happen if you put a drop of water in a desert? Kya hoga? वो दिखेगा नहीं दिखेगा, दिखेगा तो भी अंदर चला जाएगा, अंदर नहीं गया तो भी इवापोरेट हो जाएगा, इट विल नॉट रिमेन देयर. On the other hand, bhakti is like a massive, vast, deep ocean. So there is no comparison. This is what Rishabhdev teaches. Next shloka. Brahmanyadaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yah lipyate na sapapena padmapatramivambhasa. Hari Hari. Translation. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. This is a very, very practical verse for all of us. We live in this particular society. Yes, we live in this society and we may say, Prabhu ji, बहुत लोग आके बोलते प्रभु जी आपका प्रवचन सुन के सब कुछ छोड़ छाड़ के जो आपकी तरह बनने का मन करता है. Many of them have told me this. Some married men also, in absence of their wives, have told me this. So then I teach them this shloka. प्रभु जी आइए आपके लिए थोड़ा और प्रैक्टिकल श्लोक बताता हूँ जिससे कि आपको कोई छोड़ छाड़ने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. You can still work in this world. You can remain in this world. You can work in this world and yet be like a lotus that is untouched by water. What is the Sanskrit meaning of lotus? You know, lotus means pankaja. Pank means dirt. Ja means जो जन्म लेता है, यानी कि that which is taken birth from dirt is called pankaja. So although lotus takes birth from a dirt, is lotus dirty? No, lotus is such a beautiful, beautiful flower. Similarly, although the lotus is inside water, it's inside water, but the lotus is not watery. The lotus is free from water. So similarly, although we are in this material world, we shouldn't be of this world. Even Jesus Christ said the same thing in his Bible. Yes, be in this world, but not of this world. I'll put it in Hindi so as not to have confusion. इस दुनिया में रही है लेकिन इस दुनिया के मत बनी. Yes, इस दुनिया के में रहिए but इस दुनिया की मत बनिए. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Yes, he was instructed by his guru. He gave him 3 instructions. Yes, I'm not going to share all. I'm just share one. And one instruction he gave was never go to Kolkata. Don't go to Calcutta. That time it was Calcutta, British times. Don't go to Calcutta. But it was in Calcutta that Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur met Srila Prabhupada in the Ulta Danga Junction. So why did he say don't go to Calcutta? He told don't go to Calcutta means although you may leave Mayapur and go to Calcutta, but don't live in the consciousness of Calcutta. Even when you're living in Calcutta, have the consciousness of Mayapur. And that's what Prabhupada also did in his life. Prabhupada was in Bauri. This place is called Bauri. And please don't mind me. I'm going to share what is Bauri. Bauri has I'm just going to share one aspect. A smell. The smell that comes in Bauri is mixture of 3 things. It is mixture of urine, mixture of liquor and mixture of vomit. इन तीनों को मिला के जो स्मेल, प्लीज ट्राई भी मत कीजिए. None of us will even try this. इन तीनों को मिक्स करके जो बदबू आएगी, that is the smell that used to come in Bauri. But Srila Prabhupada lived there. And when asked, Srila Prabhupada, such a stinking, dirty place, what are you doing here? Prabhupada said, who said? This is Vrindavan for me. So although he was in Bauri, he had a consciousness of being in Vrindavan. Right? Similarly, this shloka teaches us how to be in this world but not of this world. How to do that? तो इसके लिए हमें जो है 2 चीजें बताई गई है. 2 things have been told. The first thing is it's actually 2 things, but it is one thing only. The first thing is to do duty without attachment. How to do that? Because the moment you do something, you get attached to it. Just like a carpenter. We give an example of a carpenter who very nicely, he gets from his employer, he gets a wood, a log, and he has his tools from the employer. So with the tools of the employer, with the log of the employer, he makes a very beautiful furniture. He makes a very nice furniture and he thinks, "Arey, wow, dek, maine shabash, बढ़िया काम किया, चलो इसको घर लेके जाते हैं, लेट मी टेक दिस होम. कैन ही डू दैट? नो, यू कांट. लॉक किसने दिया था? मालिक ने दिया था. टूल्स किसने दिए थे? मालिक ने दिया था. जगह किसकी थी? मालिक की थी. तो फर्नीचर किसका है? मालिक का है. आपको क्या मिलेगा? थोड़ी बहुत रेम्युनरेशन. यू मे गेट समथिंग, some money basis your work hours. You may get that. Take it and push off. Similarly, सेंसेस किसने दिए? मालिक ने दिए. दुनिया किसने दी? मालिक ने दी. क्षमता किसने दी? मालिक ने दी. तो काम किसका होता है? मालिक का होता है. We may get some token reaction, some token remuneration, but actually the fruit of the work belongs to Krishna, doesn't belong to us. So when we understand this, we get this knowledge, we do understand brahmani adaya karmani sangam tyaktva. So we will, how to exactly develop this prabhuji, क्योंकि कुछ भी करते हम attach हो जाते हैं. That is why we have to offer a portion of our work to Krishna. We have to do it. A portion of our work to Krishna. In fact, it's the duty and responsibility of every company to do a CSR tie-up with Krishna consciousness movement. Yes, every company should engage 2%. वो मिनिमम है ना, वो मिनिमम है, उससे ज्यादा भी कर सकते हैं. 20% कीजिए, 25% कीजिए. Ideally, if company has, the people in the company have to be happy, the boss in the company has to be happy. At least the CSR activity जो है उसको भगवत गीता का प्रचार करने के लिए, भागवतम का प्रचार करने के लिए पैसा लगाना चाहिए. They do it. You should do. This is very important. Any business that you do, this should be a very strong endeavor that should be going out. This should be the main CSR activity. It should be there. Then that work will be a nice work. दूसरी चीज, even the amount which comes, a person, now we may not be owning companies, right? But we all get salary. That's how we are remunerated. So the salary that comes, a portion of that salary must be engaged in Krishna's service, must be engaged to propagate the mission of Lord. If that is not done, then we become an attached worker. And an attached worker, as per Bhagavad Gita, is a sinful person. He will get papa. On the other hand, a person who offers the portion of his salary to Krishna's service, lipyate nasa papena, such a person will not get the pap which is there, because every work has some pap. Yes. And the very fact that a person is getting pap, that it's like the carpenter who's taking away the furniture and going, चलो मेरे को furniture बहुत अच्छा लग गया, मैं घर पे लेके जा रहा हूँ, I'm going, thank you. No, that is not correct, right? So person who is taking the furniture which he has made to his home is a thief. So similarly, if we are not engaging the money that we are receiving as salary in Krishna's service, we also become thief. I'll tell you a very funny pastime to lighten up the mood. So once there was a person who came to meet Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada said, what is your name? He gave his name. And Srila Prabhupada asked, what do you do? He said, I have glass business. You have glass business, you're a thief. Sir, what did I do? मैंने क्या चोरी किया? You are stealing resources of Krishna. Glass is made of what? Silicon. Silicon, where is it available? Sand. You're stealing Krishna's resources, you're making glasses and you are getting money. So you're a thief. He said, but Swamiji, I give some donation to your temple also. He said, all right, you're a small thief. ठीक है, तू छोटा चोर, छोटा छोटा चोर, ठीक है. So हीरा चोर या खीरा चोर, चोर तो है सब लोग, जब तक we don't offer things to God. And a thief can never ever be peaceful and happy. Can a thief be happy? No. Just by looking at the face of a thief, one can understand ये चोर है, इसने चोरी की है. Yes, it's possible. A thief can never be secure and happy. A thief will always do. Moment he looks at khaki, my God, he will start shivering. Or the moment he hears even sound of ambulance, उसको लगा पुलिस आ गया मेरे को अरेस्ट करने के लिए. That's how he'll constantly live in fear of being exposed. A thief can never ever be happy. So similarly, a person who is not engaging one's earnings, one's fruits in Krishna's service, also is a thief and cannot be happy. This is what the Gita teaches. The time is up, but can I take one shloka or छोड़ दो? क्या करना चाहिए? Do intro, vote. Quickly, आधे मिनट में वोट बोलो, उस हिसाब से आई विल डू द नीडफुल. आज संडे है, सोचा थोड़ा धमाका करें अच्छे से. ओके, सो मोस्ट ऑफ देम आर सेइंग दिल मांगे मोर. ऑब्वियसली कोई नहीं बोलेगा प्रभु जी स्टॉप प्लीज, बस कीजिए. नोबडी इज गोइंग टू से दैट. एवरीवन इज गोइंग टू से यस. I knew that. Well, we'll go ahead. We'll have one more shloka very quickly explained, and then we'll break for question and answers. This is Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter, shloka number 17. Tadbudhyastadaatmanastannishtastatparayanaha gacchantya punaravrittim jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. Translation: when one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge all are fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. So what is the main crux of this shloka is this shloka teaches us how systematically we progress on the path of Krishna consciousness. हमारा progress कैसे होता है? All of us. That's explained in this verse of Krishna consciousness. Who is a beginner? Who is a novice? Who is quite well acquainted? Who is experienced? And who is reached that level of devotional service? तो धीरे धीरे करके स्टेप बाय स्टेप भगवान ने 4 स्टेप्स बताए हैं. So the first thing is tadbudhyas. Now this is the first step that happens. You want to progress on the path of bhakti, the first thing that will happen is tadbudhyas, which means we start getting knowledge and thus our intelligence develops. So right now we all are developing our knowledge. Correct? We are developing our knowledge in the Bhagavad Gita. हम सुन रहे हैं. And this was my experience when I took the Gita Art of Life. And after the sessions, although we used to chant 10 mantras every day, many people took up to the chanting of one round automatically. Yes, some of them took up. So the practice will definitely improve. So it all starts with the bhakti begins with knowledge. Give knowledge, the classes. So that way one's intelligence first gets convinced. But even after intelligence is convinced, sometimes the mind may not be convinced. हाँ जो बोल रहे सही बोल रहे. Yes, there is God, and yes, as per Bhagavad Gita's philosophy is correct. We are soul, सब सही है. But chanting करे नहीं करे, what to do exactly? Yeah, that is thinking. But yes, sufficiently buddhi develops, then one's mind also gets convinced to take up to the path of chanting. Tad atmanas. Then the mind becomes convinced. Chalo, try karke dekhte hain. Let's do it. Many of them know the philosophy and they're convinced also. Tad buddhis hai, but tad atmanas nahi hai. Tad atmanas means you apply your mind to the practice of bhakti, and chanting is the process by which we actually purify our mind. Tad atmanas. And then what happens is one takes to the process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's the next level where your mind is also accepting the process at least. But still, what happens is our chanting is thoda damadul. Kabhi Prabhuji, kabhi 16 rounds, to kabhi 2 round, kabhi 4 round, kabhi 8 round, kabhi no round, kabhi knockout. It keeps going up and down. Kiya hai. But what is not there? Nishtha. Nishtha means fixity. Nishtha means determination. Nishtha means firm conviction. This is all called as nishtha. So tadbudhyas, tadatmanas, but no nishtha. But kintu adarat anudinam khalu saiva jushtat. Keep going on. Chanting, struggle. So that is when we accept some more authority and we decide, चलो थोड़ा reporting करते हैं. Mentor को reporting करेंगे, किसी devotee को reporting करेंगे. That is when we get accountability, gives us nishtha. So when we decide to be accountable, that is the beginning of nishtha. I'll report how many rounds I chant. I'll definitely report what exactly I read, what I understood. I will stay in touch with a mentor in my life. That is when one develops nishtha and one becomes consistent. And once one has become consistent, then there is no going back. Yes. Is there anybody who has chanted Hare Krishna Mahamantra consistently for over a year? More than 1 year? Hari Bol. So we have consistent devotees. So nice. And that is because these devotees have somebody about to report to. कोई है reporting करने के लिए, देखने के लिए, पूछने के लिए? Yes, we have. Without that, we cannot be consistent. Or consistency doesn't come. Yes. So okay, fine. So after manaha, then we go for nishtha. But still, although chanting Hare Krishna every single day, still there is no full surrender. tat parayan nahi hai. So most कुछ लोगों का गाड़ी बुद्धिस्ट पे आ गया, कुछ लोगों का आत्मनः, they have started chanting, some of them nishthas. But what is the most difficult is parayanah. Parayanah means we thoroughly understand that matta parataram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya. There is nothing more superior to Krishna. This is what gives not just nishtha in our chanting, it gives a great quality in our chanting. We chant quantity, वो भी डाउट है कभी कभी. Sometimes we eat up the mantras, sometimes we eat up the counter beat भी खा जाते हैं हम लोग. हाँ, काउंटर बीट खाना, यू नो, काउंटर बीट खा लेना मतलब 2 राउंड एक साथ. हाँ, डन. कभी कोई वो भी होता है. So, कभी काउंटर बीट खाते हैं, कभी बीट खा जाते हैं, कभी मंत्र खा जाते हैं, हरे कृष्णा राम राम हरे हरे. Happens. So although the nishtha is there, but there is no parayana. That quality is not there. Quantity is there, quality is not there. So first we develop. कुछ लोग बोलते हैं प्रभु जी रुको रुको, हम है ना पहले एक माला करेंगे, वी विल डू 1 राउंड, इन ऐसा माला करेंगे, ऐसा माला करेंगे, ऐसा माला करेंगे जो भगवान ऐसे प्रकट हो जाएंगे, ऐसा क्वालिटी करेंगे. It's not going to happen. Proof is this loka. How many of you had such idea before? Yes. हम सबको ऐसे ही होता है आइडिया, ऐसा करेंगे, ऐसा करेंगे, ऐसा करेंगे, पता नहीं कैसा करेंगे. But then, well, devotees some or the other गुलाब जामुन खिला के, प्रसाद खिला के हमको आगे बढ़ाते. प्रभु जी अभी एकादशी हो गया, एक और, प्रभु जी एक और, एक और, एक और, माता जी वन मोर, ऐसा करके भक्त लोग 16 पे ला के ही छोड़ेंगे. यस, भक्त लोग भगवान को 10 उंगली दिखाते हैं, दे शो 10 फिंगर्स टू गॉड, बट भक्त लोग दूसरे भक्त को 16 उंगली दिखाते हैं. ए 16, so 16 उंगली दिखाते हैं उसको, ए 16 माला कर, like that. So parayana is that state where once we chant with great quality. When we are chanting, we are with Krishna. Nothing else is important. That is Tatparayana at our stage. I just gave a broad understanding of this sloka in a practical sense. I have not explained it philosophically, because going philosophically you will not be able to relate it much. So Tatparayana is that state when we are chanting Hare Krishna, we are only chanting Hare Krishna, not doing anything else. We are not thinking of anything else. We're just with Krishna. When you're worshipping the deities, you're just worshipping the deities with rapt attention. When you're hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, you're not doing anything else, but we are only there. Tatparayana. So it's easier to get Tatparayana in Kirtan. Yes, Kirtan mein Tatparayana lana easy hai. To get Tatparayana in Bhagavatam is little difficult. To get Tatparayana in Japa is the most difficult. That is why one's success or one's progress in spiritual life is not determined on Kirtan or Bhagavat class, is determined on Japa. But definitely this Kirtan and Bhagavatam class will enable one to develop that taste. Will enable one to develop that conviction to do Japa, Tatparayana. And then what happens? You reach this state, don't worry. Once you have reached Tatparayana, that's it. Gachanti apunaravrtim. You will not come back to this material world. Jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. And he will straight away proceed to Krishna Loka. He's already proceeding and progressing towards that. Wonderful shloka, right? So हम सब के बारे में बताया गया था. So we all know which stage we are in. We all know. I'm not going to ask for raise of hands. Yes, but wherever we are, we have to develop it. I'll just draw a simple drawing. Have you seen these cards? अभी drawing उतना साफ नहीं रहेगा, but don't laugh. So like this, एक cards होते हैं. So on the top of that card we build, correct? So tad buddhya tad atmanas. You want to go next? You have to build your buddhi more. Atmanas, then tan nishtha. Correct? And build your buddhi more. Like this, we keep progressing like that. So keep increasing your knowledge. Yes? Keep increasing your mental engagements. You're chanting. Keep increasing your consistency. Definitely one day you will be here. So the process is we regularly get connected to Shiksha. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Even if it is for half an hour a day, if we hear with rapt attention, we will be making great progress in getting that Parayana stage. So this is one practical thing: reading of Srila Prabhupada books, listening to devotees. We invest our time, energy, effort, consciousness in this direction. We will be able to achieve the Parayana eventually. Thank you very much. We'll end here. Dhruvin Prabhu, sorry, ज़्यादा question नहीं ले पाऊंगा आज.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Was it okay? I wanted to hear, rather than questions, I would like to hear some comments and their takeaways. So was it all right? You all liked it? Please give your feedback, your inputs, what you appreciated, what you liked. Beautiful class, wonderful class. Okay, Bajay, what are you taking home back? What are your reflections? If that is something, if you could write, I'll be very grateful.
Okay, maybe what we can try to do is आपको इस सेशन में से जो एक सबसे बेस्ट चीज याद रह गई हो, that you can just type in.
Yes.
That you can just keep in mind.
So Mayuresh Prabhu says chanting japa. That is the barometer of our spiritual life. Correct. Card Castle. All right. Got enthusiasm for chanting. Thank you, Dipti ji. We can convert our karma into divinity. Very true. That is, I think you have taken from the first verse. I'm on second place of chanting. Okay. One must all become Tat Parayana, Vasudev Parayana, Narayana Parayana. Okay, let's bring consistency first. Okay, good. You all got very nice essence. Okay, there's a comment. Prabhuji, really, Sunday became fun day. Because we got a lot of fun days from Krishna. Krishna के fun day मिले हमको, इसलिए fun day हो गया. Do duty without attachment. That will happen when you offer your duties and fruits to Krishna both. Krishna is superior. Progress is dependent on japa. True. Knowledge, consistency, chanting. Nityam Bhagavad Sevya. Perform duty without attachment. 16 rounds with determination. One thing at a time while chanting and deity worship. Very good. Good. So you all got the essence. Krishna is the owner. Owner वो है, मालिक. हमको but वो फर्नीचर उठा के भागना नहीं है. Very good. Nishta is important. Maya means what is not. Quality with quantity. True. Quota of Sat Sukh and Dukh is fixed. Matra Sparshas to conscious. Simply tolerate it. Great. All right. So we'll close here. Okay. There is. I'll just take one question. Achyuta Lakshmi ji. Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra without any restrictions of time? Yes. Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Statrarpita Niyamena Nasmaranena Kal. There's absolutely no restriction of no niyam, no smaran, no kal. Either ही smaran karna hai, aise hi karna hai. No. Just chant. Don't worry. Chant. Chant Hare Krishna. No problem. Whatever we earn, a portion of it should be engaged in Krishna service. Perfect. We do this, then our chitta will be purified. All right. Thank you, everyone. So very beautiful. Actually, Sunday was fun day. Right from morning, we had a very, very great, wonderful Krishna conscious time. And many devotees I could meet, I could talk, I could earn their blessings. And it was a great day for me. Thank you all very much, each and every one of you, for making this a day a very blessed one. Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagavadvani Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. I am just getting, and I need to talk to a person very urgently just before I hit the bed. I'll be taking off today. And Dhruvin Prabhu, you can make your announcements. And thank you all very much. One-to-one मैं सबको thank नहीं कर पाऊंगा. But anyway, thank you to all. Vansha kalpatarubhishcha kripa sindhubhyo vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Thank you.
So thank you so very much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful session.